Hands down, no doubt about it, the most important 2025 offer has finally arrived. If you've ever wanted to see Duce get loose on the same field as Dad did, well, now that might be a possibility.
You are Locked On Oklahoma State, your daily podcast on the Oklahoma State Cowboys, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Howdy, y'all, and hello, all. Welcome back to Locked On Oklahoma State, your daily stop for all things Cowboy and Cowgirl related. My name is Cody Stovall. I want to thank you kindly for stopping by. We're available on all of your podcasting platforms, visually as well on YouTube. Find me personally on X at AllDayOState. Today, we are partially brought to you by FanDuel. Make every moment matter more with FanDuel. Right now, new customers get $150 back in bonus bets with any $5 or more winning bet. Make sure you get in on the action right now by going to FanDuel.com/lockedon. We are going to get started today by first shouting out the regulars, a.k.a. my regulators out there, because you guys, you know how important this one has been to me. Not only have I been saying that it's an absolute travesty that Tatum, Duce, Bell had not received an offer until today, but ironically enough, I was actually talking to Tatum yesterday about this very thing, and I told him that in today's show, I was going to start the clock of how many days Kasey Dunn has not offered Tatum, Duce, Bell. Thankfully, here on day 53, he got his offer. So we all get to breathe a sigh of relief as now this 5'11", 170-pound, do-it-all athlete, wide receiver / cornerback can possibly be a Cowboy. Now, I do have to emphasize, Kasey Dunn did, in fact, kick the can down the road for, 53 days since he received his Texas Tech offer. In that 53 days, Texas Tech has done a phenomenal job gaining a little bit of a foothold. So much so that they've been going to his basketball games. They've been going to his sister's track meets. They're very, very invested in Tatum, Duce, Bell becoming a Red Raider. Thankfully for us, though, we have a lot of things that Texas Tech does not. One of those being the fact that his dad was a legend in Stillwater. And, realistically speaking, he really didn't get to experience all of that until this previous season. But as he was able to come to Stillwater on a multitude of visits, he got to see everything that Oklahoma State can offer, what the facilities are, what the feeling of brotherhood and camaraderie is, and how it's considerably different than everywhere else you're going to go. You even heard it recently from Adam Schobel, the Baylor quarterback commit. And he knows a thing or two about seeing insides of locker rooms and facilities because his dad played almost a decade in the NFL. And his dad was like an All-American tight end at TCU. And he said that Stillwater, Oklahoma State University, is unlike anything else in college football. He's not wrong. And Tatum, Duce, Bell got to experience that as well. Before this previous season, Oklahoma State was just another team. Obviously, he knew his dad was kind of a big deal at Oklahoma State. But it really hit home for him in his visits this season and the times that they got to go to the bowl games or the Big 12 title games and be immersed in the entirety of what Oklahoma State has become. See, back in the day, Tatum Bell was a rare bird. We didn't get a lot of the big-time recruits. We got Tatum Bell. And now we have the opportunity to get Tatum, Duce, Bell, who played running back all the way up until just a year and a half or so ago. He made the conversion to wide receiver pretty much on his own. Now, the track speed stuff, right, his sister has a lot of a hand in that, but the training that he's been able to go through his entire life has been second to none. It's not just the speed that's impressive. It's what he can do after the catch that's very impressive. We like to see what Brennan Presley can do. It's very reminiscent. Very reminiscent. So he's got the moves and versatility of his dad, but he's also got the wiggle and shake and bake of a Brennan Presley. If you combine Tatum, Duce, Bell with Matrell Lopez, the other wide receiver commit that we just recently got for the 2025 class, they would be a good combo. So if you've got Matrell Lopez, the potential king of elusivity, and then if we can get a commitment from Tatum, Duce, Bell, you're talking a 1-2 combo at the wide receiver position that's going to be hard to stop, let alone even try to keep up with. Those two dudes in a phone booth, you don't really have much of a chance. Now, selfishly, of course, we all want Tatum, Duce, Bell to be a Cowboy. But it means more than just that. Why have I been saying this is the most important get? Because if you can't get these, who can you just go out and know you have a good shot at getting all of the time? If you're unable to get in good with guys like Tatum Bell or Reggie White's boy, Caleb C6 White, then how do you expect to be able to get into living rooms and grow organically, infectiously, what you're trying to produce in the locker room at Oklahoma State University? It starts with guys like this. And again, it means a whole lot more when it's a legacy. When we all know what it feels like when a legacy decides not to come to Oklahoma State. It's like a stab in the heart every single time. Again, we still got to fend off Texas Tech here. Texas Tech has done a very good job getting a nice little foothold. But for everything that they want, we already have in Stillwater for Tatum, Duce, Bell. This is the most important offer that we've put out thus far. And I do think that if we can land it, it'll likely be the biggest get, because this commit right here would grow legs. We recruit the Dallas-Fort Worth area already very well. I mean, heck, we've got Garrett Rangel from the Frisco area on the roster at this very moment. We have to continue to make that fertile recruiting grounds even better. So if you can go into DFW and you can get a multitude of talented players like Landon Cleveland, like obviously Gunnar Wilson, like obviously David Kabongo, and now obviously if you can land Tatum, Duce, Bell, the reach that provides for the rest of the recruiting class, especially in that area, is massive. It's not just because he has talent. It's because he has the respect to go with it. It's because he has the drive and the passion to continue to get better. He has ridiculous hands. I mean, that's one of the first things that Tatum mentioned to me that told him, all right, he can actually legitimately do this wide receiver thing, was his hands, and how catching in traffic just was naturally easy to him, more natural and easier than it ever was for his dad, Tatum. This is a big deal. And this, again, sets us up for so much more success in this area that it's absolutely ridiculous. But since I'm absolutely ridiculously happy, I also got to help you try to be happy too, okay? And part of you being happy is maybe the maximization of your pocketbook. And I think FanDuel can probably help you do that. Football season may be out of the window now, but basketball season is here. So it at least gives you a nice little ability to keep the money coming, honey. Right now, new customers get $150 back in bonus bets with any $5 winning bet. All you got to do, bet $5, get the W, and collect your $150 back in bonus bets. Basketball season is here. Make sure you got to get the buckets and the bucks now. Bet on your favorite NBA players and teams with quick bets, same game parlays, over, unders, exclusive player props, who's going to win the championships, divisions, and more. Visit FanDuel.com/lockedon. Go there now today. FanDuel.com/lockedon. Shoot your next shot. Make sure it's your best shot with FanDuel, the official sportsbook partner of the NBA. That's a pretty good segue because the Red Raiders have been showing up to see Tatum Duce Bell play some basketball. So let's talk about some of the other targets that I think would clearly make my day even better. If we were to be able to get out a couple more offers to a couple more dudes, I know the kind of effect that it could potentially have. And the first name that I've definitely got to talk about, guys, Aiden Martin. So if we can get Tatum Duce Bell to be a Cowboy in Stillwater, Oklahoma, he's got to have a future quarterback to hand him the ball off. I love Mayalake Smith just as much as I'm madly in love with the development that Zane Flores can provide. But Aiden Martin is like the walking version of an enigma. It doesn't make sense. He checks all of the boxes that you want in a football player. He does everything so effortlessly that he evidently does it so well, he gets overlooked. Because if Aiden Martin was 6'4" or heck, even 6'2", he would have 12, 13, 15 Division I offers. But at right around the 6 foot, 190-pound range, he's still got some growing to do. But I don't know that he's got a whole lot more learning to do. Guys, starting any 6A football game, pretty big deal. Starting and winning the 6A high school football games, definitely a big deal. What's even a bigger deal is to take that production, end up throwing 2,443 yards, 32 touchdowns through the air with only 9 picks. You don't have to be a math wizard to put that thing together. That's wild. He also chipped in 6 more rushing touchdowns to go alongside his 571 yards rushing. To me, he's very reminiscent of J.W. Walsh. He's not quite as fast as JW, but he has a better delivery than JW, has a better mechanics than JW, throws a little bit of a better ball than JW, and he's the same level gamer. Guys, he's won so many camp competitions, MVPs, that it's maddening almost that he doesn't get more love. Guys, so I had the ability to witness Aiden Martin live when I was covering a 7-on-7 event a couple weeks ago in Houston. And the first thing I do when I get to the high school stadium is I get up to the press box and I just casually, view what's going on. And I'll take out a piece of paper and pencil and I'll jot down some kids that clearly look like they're doing a little bit more than everybody else, or maybe they're just a little bit more advanced than everybody else. And he was the first kid. And yes, out of 400 kids in 4 fields, you can still see the ones that just do it a little bit better, that are on a little bit of a different level. Aiden Martin was the very first person to catch my eye. I thought he was the coach. Like, it was that impressive. I got up to the box and I'm watching this guy in a jacket and, the old fishing bucket hat. And he's throwing absolute lasers on target, in stride, easy peasy. Like it was absolutely nothing. And then after I, get a few players written down, then I go down on the field, right, whip out the laptop, get to typing away. And when I got down there, I realized, oh, wait, he isn't the coach. He is the quarterback. He was running everything. He had the play sheets. He was calling all of the plays, doing all of the audibles, all of the shifts, bringing people in motion to figure out what the defense was trying to do. And he made it look easy. He didn't force anything. He didn't make things unnecessarily complicated. He went through his progressions based off of the gaps on the defense, and he just threw nice, easy passes. When I say nice and easy, I'm also being a little bit not fair to the zip that he puts on it. Velocity is not an issue. And again, whatever he lacks in size or height, he makes up for in intelligence, athletic ability, and technique. He has your traditional over-the-top 6'4" pocket passer delivery system. Because of that, and his ability to shift within the pocket and find the openings in between the linemen, he doesn't get balls batted down, right? That seems to be usually the biggest problem with the 5'10", 5'11", 6-foot range QB is the balls that can get batted down at the line of scrimmage unless you've got a bunch of crazy, funky, off-platform arm angles you can throw from. Unless you're so fundamentally sound that you give yourself a few more inches by just the way you deliver the football. That was Aiden Martin. So, of course, he led his team to back-to-back championships. And, of course, he was the MVP in those championship games. In the championship game that I was there to write up and witness, he completed like 95%. And he was throwing for multiple touchdowns every single time they were on the field. And once again, it was effortless. I mean, you go look at his highlights, he's got wheels. He can make people miss. You can't just be the old school, right, statue quarterback anymore. So for him to be the quintessential pocket passer delivery system to go alongside with the athletic ability and the intelligence and the gamer attitude, this kid is a can't miss. He is a surefire Division I quarterback. I, for the life of me, cannot understand why he's not getting more love. And he is playing 6A football. Like there's nothing other than size that indicates that he shouldn't be getting no love. I mean, he's getting some from like your UTSAs or your Texas States and things of that nature, but he's better than that. Just because he's not bigger than that, I can assure you he's definitely better than that. There's a lot of write-ups on Aiden Martin. So I'm kind of late to the party. But the colleges that aren't offering him, they're very, very late to this daggone party. All right. So we got potentially the running back, and Tatum Bell. And then we potentially maybe looked at a quarterback that can help him out here. So let's go to the other side of the ball. Right? If we're going to call 2025 wide receiver commit Matreo Lopez, again, the future king of elusivity and Stilly, and we're going to call Yamil Millie Talib a beast, a dog, and a certified problem, and then I guess it's only natural that we go with another 2025 class candidate on the other side of the ball in DB Juan-Milleon Aguilar. He can now get his own nickname, all right? So we're going to dub him Mr. Pick Six City today. And it works out perfectly because this is Stillwater, Oklahoma we're talking about. This is the home of Lob Stilly, the house that Henry Iba built and Eddie Sutton turned into a Final Four Elite Eight capable powerhouse on a darn near yearly basis. And with guys like Doug Gottlieb and Desmond Mason, Marcus Smart, Cade Cunningham, Markel Brown, and Tony Allen, your eyes could do you some good in some research, right? That 13,600 seat House of Madness that is Gallagher Iba Arena, it used to be a physical force that was a massive tool that we could use in recruiting. We've lost a little bit of that. Yeah, okay. But the feeling that it gives you is like 120 decibels, which is the feeling of a jet engine taking off. That's the kind of feeling that can be inside Boone Pickens Stadium as well. But in the meantime, do me a favor. All right, I don't want to get too sidetracked here. Y'all should look up those guys I just named. For the time that you're ready to move to Stillwater, Oklahoma, gentlemen, I got a feeling that big, beautiful basketball palace of awesome sauce should be back to the historical experience that we all know and love. Coincidentally, it'll be just in time for you to experience all of that. So when y'all come to Stillwater, just make sure you're prepared. When I say y'all, maybe tell Rico to practice topping up a couple extra lobs in Stillwater, Oklahoma, Stilly style. Some alley-oops in Gallagher Iba when you're having some downtime on campus could do you some good. Yes, Mr. Rico Suave Aguilar. I'm talking to you, buddy. My dude, we see you out there. Okay. We see you out there shaking and baking like Ricky Bobby on the basketball court. But anywho, let's get back to the business of Mr. Pick Six City Juan-Milleon Aguilar. He is fresh off of an invite to the 2025 Texas High School Football Safeties to Know Games and Camps. This human Swiss Army knife also comes with a little bit of that come on and get you some swagger. And you all know that I love my track and skill guys. I love the versatility that provides. And I love the fact that when you look at Juan-Milleon Aguilar, even though the 6'1", 165 frame might fool you, this free safety wide receiver return specialist out of Kimball, Texas, just spent last season picking up 67 tackles, 10 picks, 12 pass breakups. And that's just the pass breakups on the books. Mind you, 3 forced fumbles, 4 pick sixes, and countless other returns that made their own set of highlights look ridiculous. This kid is legitimately a get for somebody. Why can't that somebody be us? I mean, first you're watching him backpedal smoothly, transition in and out of breaks, and then you see him get the bead, get the angle, and then all of a sudden, you're not watching a defensive back anymore. Now you're watching a tried and true return specialist who is out there making people miss just to try to perfect his craft. He led all of the state of Texas in interceptions. He was first team all-district, ranked the number 3 safety in the great state of Texas. Most importantly, this interception machine can easily become what? 6'2", 200, while simultaneously easily maintaining and maybe even improving the speed that he already has. Yes, Coach Brian Nardo and Dan Hammerschmidt, this kid is an absolute no-brainer. Absolutely. You got to get in while the getting is good, and right now the getting is good. We got to talk a little baseball action, but before we do, the getting can be good for you anytime with Game Time tickets. Stressing for weeks and months in advance, it's unnecessary. You ain't got to worry about the hassle of hotels and flights on top of getting the right tickets. Game Time tickets is where you need to go now. It's the fast and easy way for you to buy tickets for all sports, music, comedy, and theater events near you. With last-minute killer deals, flash zones, and the easy to find and buy pricing, this is the best place for you to get squared away. You know, you get to view the seat in the venue before you purchase, so you don't have to worry about the craziness of buying a seat in one section and being told, sorry, you're actually in this section. You get to view the seat before you purchase. The all-in pricing shows your total up front, so you know what you're getting. You know it's a great deal before you even check out. Buy your tickets in seconds with just 2 taps. Bada boom, bada bing, bada bang, you're done. And Game Time guarantee means you'll get the best price. If you find tickets in the same section or row for less, Game Time will credit you back 110% of the difference. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Right now, all Game Time users get $20 off your first purchase. Make sure you use promo code LOCKEDON, all one word, to get that $20 off your first purchase. Download Game Time today. Last-minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. The softball team had a very successful weekend on the diamond. Now baseball gets to take their crack at it with the opening series against Sam Houston State. Ironically enough, we're going to keep hammering home this Houston area, the Texas area in recruiting, but this time for baseball. And Sam Houston State is no slouch. This is the same Sam Houston State that won 39 games last year. They went 22-8 in their conference. They made the regionals. They ended up going to Baton Rouge Regional, and they ended up beating Tulane in the Baton Rouge Regional before they dropped a couple games. The talent is there. This will be a decent test. And for the first time since 2018, the Oklahoma State Cowboys entered the season outside of the top 25. It's not a bad place to be, because recently, right, we've been a top 5, top 10, top 15 team pretty regularly year in, year out. And we're not finding ways to get it done when it comes regional, super regional time. So maybe the fact that we get to do a little bit of hunting this year is going to bode well for this Cowboy baseball club. This test against Sam Houston State will give us a pretty decent understanding of what we're going to roll out from a talent viewed situation into this season. And thankfully, again, it's not going to be an easy test. We should win this series. I would actually kind of be surprised if we swept the daggone thing. But nonetheless, it's just nice to see baseball back in action, because men's basketball is abysmal. And you know what? We're going to save that for the next episode, because I wasn't going to let Mike Boynton's recent discussion about Oklahoma State, NIL, all that crap, I wasn't going to let that ruin my day. Thankfully, Kasey Dunn of all people, stepped in and helped the homie out with giving Tatum, Duce, Bell the offer of the year thus far. Aiden Martin, he will be getting more offers. I know. I don't want him to end up in the Big 12 as a problem that we have to deal with, just like I didn't want Tatum, Duce, Bell to end up in the Big 12 as a problem to deal with as well. And of course, Juan-Milleon Aguilar. A, your name's just super, super awesome to say. And B, your film don't lie, buddy. I cannot wait for the day that these gentlemen get Oklahoma State offers. And if those offers come, these are the type of Cowboys that can make the recruiting class get bigger and better, while simultaneously being, more glued together. Almost as glued together as the group that came out of the Dallas-Fort Worth area last year that are incoming freshmen now. I cannot wait to see what this whole thing provides, because again, I know it's going to have some positive legs that grow off of it. Baseball, you're up. You are on deck, in the hole. Call it what you want to call it. It is time to get it done. And Sam Houston is a pretty good test. So we'll check back and see how baseball gets their season started. And until we until we have the Mike Boynton conversation, that's all we're going to have for this one right here. You know I love you. As always, God bless. Go Pokes. Thank you for tuning in to make this your first listen here on Locked On Oklahoma State. You could be anywhere, so happy you choose to be here. Go like the daggone thing if you like it. Dislike it if you don't. That's okay, too. Leave a review if you're in the podcast country, the bricks, the foundation. Hit the stars if you're getting stars, y'all. Sharing is caring. All right, y'all. Later, taters.